If more of your time is going in enriching leads, searching for people, who's your connection, and not selling, a
Right.
founder should always sell. If his time is going to like updating CRM or updating Excel sheets, he should hire someone, or like he should have hired someone yesterday.
Yeah. One, two, one, two. Welcome everyone. Today on Sales School we have Kshitij Mishra. He's one of the youngest GTM minds we've had on the pod, but he's already a force. He's helped grow sales at KK HR and now part of the growth team at Deccan AI, building smart outbound engines, hustler, operator, and deeply thoughtful about how sales should actually work. He's smart with tools, serious about processes, and proof that age has nothing to do with impact. Welcome, Shithij.
Hey, hi Karthik, hi Soumya.
Some rapid fire questions, if you will. Just easy, whatever first pops into your head, you can go with that. Yeah. Ready? Where did you grow up, Shithij?
So I grew up in Durg, Chhattisgarh. It's a tier two city. So I grew up there, schooling to St. Xavier's. Yeah.
Are you a coffee or a chai person or something else entirely?
Yeah, chai person, but lemon tea gets the job done.
What's the one thing your team or your colleagues will roast you or make fun of you on?
I talk too fast sometimes, so maybe sometimes it sounds like gibberish. So that's one thing that I make fun of.
What's your favorite way to unwind after work?
Playing a game of FIFA, I guess that's the best thing I love.
Who's the one prospect you'd like to cold email?
Or it doesn't even have to be like a work prospect, like somebody, everybody has a, maybe you have a celebrity that you would like to cold email and hear from. Me, I don't
Yeah,
do it
Joe
much.
Rogan would be one of them. I would
Ooh,
love to email Joe Rogan and get a reply from him.
That would be really cool.
we're not that big yet, but if we are, Joe, wait for an email to come in your inbox.
You never know.
Yeah,
Never know.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So we'll move into the more professional stuff. But before I get there, I wanna take you back to your origin. So my first question to you is, how did you get into sales?
I was in my college, I was as a 22 batch P-Tech. So during 2020, there was COVID, we were at a home. And then post college, I had few offers. Then the sales one was paying the most. And me coming from a business family, so selling and negotiating was always there from childhood. So I chose my path in sales.
Nice. So the highest paying job got your attention. Nice. Okay. So let's talk about your current job right now. Right. What was the team structure like when you joined Deccan, like Deccan AI?
When I joined, they were around 20 full timers. I joined them as a first sales guy, like a growth SDR. Yep. So that was the sales team. So I was the sales team the first day. Then my manager came in, then few other folks over the months. Currently, we are around six people working in the sales team.
And during the first 90 days, give us a sense of how you went around building. What did you set up? What did you fix that you thought was broken? What did you tear down that you didn't like?
So when I joined, there was no particular outbound or inbound engine as of now. And when I joined, it was not Deccan AI, it was Soul AI. Then we started as Soul. So the founder, we were doing on a founder-led sales. So we hired, like he hired an agency. They were working, but not very good with the number of meetings they had. So when I joined, the first thing I did was to get a Polo, like a normal enriching email warm-up tool. Then we started with his first degree connections, his second degree connections, went ahead, got around 14, 15 meetings. Then moved to his system like onboarded a CRM, email sending tool, which is Smart Leads, then your LinkedIn automation through Dripify and things like that. So that was the
Okay.
first 90 days.
Okay. Okay. So you said that you set up an email tool because primarily it was a founder-led sales.
Yep.
So could you mention the tool name again?
The tool was Smart Leads. So particularly what you can do is you can warm up your emails, like run a cadence of 15, 20 days. It gets your email ready to send around 50, 40 emails a day. So that was the tool I onboarded.
Okay, and just for everyone out there with different levels of understanding, why do you need to warm up emails?
Yeah, sure. So people who are in this sales and marketing industry, they particularly know why we do it. So when you buy a new domain, first you have to do the SMTP checks, your DNS checks, so that when you send an email, the receiver registers it as an official or a particular legit email from a real domain. It's
Okay.
not a spam, it's not fishy. So you first warm up your emails, check your domain sanity, then start sending out your outbound. So whosoever is buying a new domain today, don't send your emails right away after buying it. It takes some time to warm the emails. And particularly in this industry, the more older the email, it's way better for outreach.
It has a level of authenticity. There
Yes.
have been people who've replied to that email, and there has been almost like an email transaction happening before. And what does Easy Leads do?
Not easily, so it's smartly.
Smart Leads, sorry.
So it warms up your emails. So then what you can do is you can add all your emails of your peers as well. It's a single platform. So as of now, I have four alias emails for every person. So around 24 emails on a single tool. They are being warmed up and they send around 50 emails a day on a daily basis. And the best thing is the Unibox. So if any of those 24 emails gets a reply from any cadence or a sequence or a inbound, it will come into the inbox like the Unibox. Be it any 24 emails. So all your inbox comes in a single Unibox.
So any reply can be tracked from a
Yeah.
single inbox. Anything that when you started out there, you had it to almost break down or tear down and start from scratch that you saw practices that weren't, let's say, healthy.
So I was starting new and very fresh at Deccan. There were no system like a particular tools in place. Apollo was only there. So I started with instantly or used them for a bit. So even free versions can give you good results if you are doing like hyper personalized reach outs. I did not like it that much. What smart leads get my attention, where they can you can also purchase, go and have a domain like an alias subdomain for you to just send out emails. And the best thing they do is they sell you a domain, then they even sell pre-warmed emails with them. So the time you start like spending, you can reach out like you can start your reach out your outbound ASAP. You don't have to wait for 20 days to warm them.
Interesting, interesting. So when you went in there, not too many systems, so you could
Yep.
almost try out everything that you wanted to.
Yes.
Great.
You've mentioned a lot of things that you've been doing at your current role and tools you've been using. But Kshitij, if you had to explain it to like a complete layperson, right? What is a GTM engineer in plain simple English or Hindi or any other language?
Yeah, sure. GTM engineer would be like someone who builds this sales systems where you send your emails, you do your LinkedIn reach out, you track them, you have a CRM to like have your dashboards ready. So GTM engineer would be someone who knows like how to do these outbound channels, like what are leads, what are personas. He should know like a particular understanding of what's the ICP, and you
Right.
should also know like how to operate these engines, like how to flow leads from HubSpot to smart leads to like again to HubSpot, then leads to your Dripify or like LinkedIn automation, because a GTM engineer would be handling around 4 or 5 tools minimum at a time. And if he's good at any 10, we can always automate all of it.
Wow. And when should a GTM engineer come on board? So let's say I'm a founder who has 0 to 1 rep, right? When do I need this role in my organization?
I guess if more of your time is going in this like enriching leads, searching for people, who's your connection, and not selling. The
Right.
founder should always sell. If his time is going to like updating CRM or updating Excel sheets, he should hire someone, or like he should have hired someone yesterday.
Do you follow any sports?
Yeah, I do follow football.
So, which position would you say is a GTM engineer on the pitch with 11 players? Let's say of who would a GTM engineer be?
I am a Cristiano fan, but being honest, GTM engineer can't be Cristiano. He can't be
Okay.
on the attacking lines always. He has to maintain the systems. So I guess Luka Modric would be the player from Real Madrid. He has around 28 trophies. He is scoring, he is defending, he's everywhere, passing things along, making the game play. That's what GTM is. So Luka would be center midfield.
All right. So what you're saying is that GTM engineer, coordinates your defense, which is your product, and ensures that you get the right kind of leads, and then also supports the forwards, whether that's your salespeople or your CEO or founder, helping them, score the goals, if you will.
Yes.
Interesting. Really nice analogy. Okay, so let's move to the nitty gritties of what a GTM engineer does. Given a chance to do this all over again, what would your tech stack be, right? So if you, let's say, you go to a founder today, and like you said, they do not have the time or the energy, to set up all these systems, but they do. They've raised some money, and now they have to start to sell, right? What are some of the tools that you would suggest that are essential for a tech SaaS company or a startup company that sells technology?
So there are few things that you always need for running any GTM or any outbound. Either you are a single founder or you have a team of 4 or 5 people along with you. The first tool would be a data sourcing tool or a data enrichment tool. That would be, you can use Apollo. Like Apollo is my go-to priority. But then again, you have Info, you have Lucia, you have a lot of players in the market. But Apollo does the gets the job done. It's kind of cheap compared to other, and gives a lot of use cases, and they're evolving a lot now. Then you need an email sending tool, or you will need to warm up your email. So email warm up or sending tool, a free tier of Smart Lead, a free tier. If you are just one or two founders who are selling, then you'll need to automate your LinkedIn, because you can't go and check all your messages. You can't track LinkedIn messages. Like me being a LinkedIn user, I always wanted like LinkedIn should give some filters on the message side as well to filter out messages. But that's not there. So you need a tool to track those, like who are the connection requests sent to, like what's the messaging going out, if there's a reply. Then if you are like in a mass or like cold bow, like you are doing one to many, not one to one or one to few, then there are particular like calling tools. If you are doing one to one or one to few, you can use air call. It's a pretty good tool out there with power dialing. But if you are doing like one to many or one to like mass outbound campaigns, parallel dials like Nux is my go-to. There are two three in the market. We tried Oram as well, but Nux is great, like with their transcripts, their filters. So Nux would be a calling tech stack. Then particularly your CRM, to have like all those dashboards tracking these outreaches from Apollo, Dripify, Smart Leads, have your leads there. And yeah, that's a basic tech stack that would need, or like founder would need to start outreach.
All right, interesting. So you said that you need an Apollo equivalent to enrich the data, gives you a clean, understandable database. You said a tool that helps you reach out to those people, via email, which is, you had mentioned,
Or Smart Leads.
Smart Leads. There, then on top of that, in case you are looking to call them one to one or one to many, you said Nooks and Orem also is something that you've tried out, correct? And
Yep.
also, if you are reaching out to them not via email but via LinkedIn, something that helps you automate those LinkedIn messages. And what is the tool you use there?
So, currently we are doing one to few or many. So we use Dripify, but there are particular like tools in the market as of now which are great at doing this. HeyReach being one of them. So what they can do is, like once you upload your lead list, they will send the connections out. They'll make particular hyper personalized messages for you. You can choose if you want to send that message or not, but you do have a lot of intel via those messages. So
Okay.
HeyReach is also one of those tools which is like doing great in automating LinkedIn as of now.
And then you also mentioned that if you're doing the one to many calling, you use parallel dialers. This is something interesting. This is something I heard for the first. Tell me more about this parallel dialing.
So parallel dialing is like why this came into picture, why there are startup like Nooks or Aurum who are doing this. So on a daily basis, if SDR has to call around 100, like 100 leads a day or 100 prospects a day, it would take around 3 4 hours. And then if like you are in a golden market standard, you will mostly get around 10 pickups. 10% is like great, take great in cold calling. but you are still 90 of your calls were unanswered and you dial for around 4 hours. So what if there's a tool which can dial around 4 or 5 people as per you? You want to choose like 2 people at a time, 3 people at a time. So the dialer goes ahead, calls everyone at a time, 3 or 4 or 5. Like currently we are on 3 or 4. It dials, and you'll always have to talk to someone when someone picks up. Like it's like if I'm calling 100 dials in around 4 or 5 hours using pair normal dialers, Nooks will help me dial around 400 calls in 2 hours, 1.5 hours. So that's the bandwidth they provide.
So you're saying that you get to people wanting to speak to you much quicker.
Yep.
Understood. Okay, that's interesting. So you're almost doing the job of four times the SDR with one tool.
But I guess typically, if you're automating a lot of these things, if you have tools like Smart Leads, Typify, Nooks at place where a lot of your manual tasks are automated, like sending out the first line of emails, the first connection on LinkedIn, or the first message. So, particularly if you see the output is more or less around 5 times, like we are a 4 people team, and the inputs, if you see in the CRM, it's like around a 20-25 people team are working. So yeah,
Wow.
these tools help a lot. And
Okay.
always when you want to the like if you want to keep your sales team very lean, so yeah, these tools are great.
Yeah, and I'm also assuming it helps in productivity, right? They're not spending that much time doing the boring and, like you said, manual tasks. They're doing the slightly more exciting tasks of actually talking to prospects. Okay, quickly, how do you decide what is worth paying for and what is something you guys should build internally? I know you would also said that you're dabbling in building some of these tools yourself and working with your internal teams to do that. So how do you decide, what should be paid for versus what you should build internally?
So, particularly on choosing the right tech stack, for like before buying anything, before paying, I always go for a free trial or a pilot first. I evaluate those tools, like how's their reporting. Because I'm not just a SDR here, it's not just me who's calling, but also I need to check like what the reports look like, what are the no answers, or on Smart Leads, if we have sent around 100K emails this month, what was the open rate and how those reports show up in Smart Leads. So I particularly judge them on user basis. Like me being an SDR, I would be the first line in person who will be using those. Then as a manager or a C-suite or a RevOps guy should look like, yeah, ये reports ऐसे सही आ रहे हैं, so we should use these tools instead of those.
Okay. So basically, how one is what the usability is or utility is. The other one is what that reporting structure also looks like. I'm going to ask you for a hack right now. Let's say I have less than 10,000 rupees a month. You mentioned all these tools out there. Is it um, is my budget too much or too little, or can you fit some of these tools within that budget?
Yeah, so a lot of these tools like are US focused first. You pay in dollars to every one of them. But still under 10,000, you can obviously go for like tools which are like free tire. Like when I started like Smart Leads, even the free tire gets a job done as a single founder. And you just need a normal tool which can automate your LinkedIn and keep the track of it. That's it. And say because but you should also have a sales nav account to tap into these, because if you don't have it, like around 7 or 8K of your 10K INR budget would go in sales navigator first.
Okay. So you're saying that not possible. I mean, some of these tools are cheap, but what would you suggest as a combination of these tools to, let's say I'm not doing mass outreach yet, but I'm trying to
Mhm.
hit product market fit, right? How can I use some of these tools?
Polo's free tire would give you around 5 to like around 1,000 emails. You can get and fetch 1,000 emails on a free tire. Smart Lead would send around 2,500 to yeah 2,500 emails for you for free. It will warm up the email for free. Once it's done, you can do those reach outs. For LinkedIn automation, you don't need a lot of automation there. Even if you don't have a sales nav account, you always know who are your first degree connections. So like who are these connections who can be your ICP. So always start with the inner circle first. Who are your first degree connections, make them your first customers. That would be like, yeah, it can be done for free as well. Like LinkedIn's free. A lot of those tools are free, and a lot of hacks are there in the market.
Lovely. Good for all the budget conscious founders to know. All right, let's now move. You had mentioned about your team of four that you're part of does the work of 25 people, right? Through these tools. How do you achieve that input? If you could just walk us through that very in detail.
Yep. So, like me being an SDR, what I have seen, like my managers or the senior leaders who want it, like an SDR should be on a call or talking to someone who's an ICP. But on a day-to-day basis, a lot of SDRs, even I was doing it. Most of my time used to scrape LinkedIn, used to search for these leads, then enrich them, use some tools to find their emails, then their phone numbers, put them into the CRM and do the calling. And to dial around 70-75 people a day, it took me around 3-4 hours of just dialing, just going ahead, copying the number from the CRM, pasting it to the calling tool, then dialing it. There's no show, no pickup. So what I saw like in the gap was like, what if we can automate these tools? When I started looking for tools out there, so then I found smart leads which can send around 100k emails on a, I guess, 90-94 dollar plan. They can send around 100k emails for you. The number of email IDs which you send from can be unlimited there. So what I have done is like, each of us has around 4 or 5 alias emails. Each email sending around 50 emails a day. So per rep is sending around 250 emails a day. That to automate it. You just have to tweak like what would be the follow-up date, what if a replies come in, what if there's a click on your link, what if there's open. That data flows to Nooks, like the lists there. Like, yeah, this lead at this company clicked your email or your link here. Then what Nooks does is parallel dialing. So we dial around 4 or 5 numbers at a time. So on an average, I used to dial around 70 to 100 when I was at STR there. Now, as of now, 300 or 400 dials is like 1.5 hours for us. So if there are startups, like I have seen a lot of startups who function on a lot of different level, and there are enterprises, there are mid markets, and all of them have different sales functions. So like I was there at High Radius, it was a full blown enterprise. I was there at Keka, it was a mid market. Then Deccan being building everything from scratch. So I think like, let's build it like something I would work under. Like if I was an SDR again, this is a tech stack which will help me like perform at my like best level. So yeah, these are the tools. So on a daily like, weekly 5 was like 20 people team calling 70 400 calls a day. Would be around 2000 calls a day, 14,000 calls a week. 5 people dialing around 400 500 calls for you. Your SDRs are not burnt out. They don't feel like cold calling is a hectic task, because this is also the notion. Me being in SDR, cold calling is the most hectic task of an SDR's life, if you ask them. So if
You
it
ask
takes so
anyone.
much.
You ask anyone to cold call, they don't like it.
So yeah, so if your 4 or 5 hours of job can be done in 1.5, your SDRs are happy, they don't feel burnt out, they perform very well. And if you have SDRs who are like proper heavy, like crazy cold callers, and if they can put like enter like 3 or 4 hours of proper calling in on Nooks, they would be dialing around 1,000 1,200 calls a day.
Awesome. Somewhere this is going to blow your mind, right? But in my previous chat with Kshitij, he told me this. Kshitij, what if you were to dial someone in Jamaica, right? People in Jamaica wouldn't quite easily understand the Indian sort of accent. How would you do that?
So I'll go to Apollo, fetch the lead's name, his location, his email, and as of now, Apollo also has a caller, so I'll just dial it right there and then.
And what about the accent? I remember the last time you were telling me about the accent change.
So there are tools in the market now. There's Crisp, there's Sonos. What they do is, but they need the high-end laptops. Like, Sonos wouldn't work on a M2 or a M1 chip MacBook Air, but it would run on MacBook Pro or a heavy GPU focused laptop. So what they do is, when you like, they are like locally installed. They are not SaaS tools or anything. They are locally installed. The time you speak, your audio signals first go to no like Crisp or Sonos. They tune it into like any native you want, be it Spanish, be it UK English, be it US English. And the time the receiver receives the audio, like when you listen to it, it will like I'm a native to US or I'm a native to Spain. I'll sound like that.
That's damn cool, right?
Wow.
That's damn cool. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more question before we move to Soumya. What, according to you, is the biggest myth many Indian SaaS founders have about selling?
I still feel like sales is not that respected in Indian market as of now. They are like anybody can call, anybody can send an email, anybody can like do the outbound or the outreach, a normal SDR or a AE or someone's doing over the call. But the time you tell them to cold call, like please cold call someone, that's it will get real.
That's when the
So
house of cards comes down.
yeah, the house of cards comes down.
All right.
I wanted to chat about just the state of sales jobs, right? Like you mentioned, how everything from um, enrichment, dialing, sourcing, messaging, all of that workflow has gotten automated or there's a system around it. So, in your view, what's the next frontier? Where does the human in the loop matter most right now?
So the human in the loop would matter most. Like AI doesn't has emotions, does not know empathy. It doesn't understand like what's are the sales signal in particular. If I'm calling to Karthik, if we are on a video call, is Karthik laughing? Is he listening to me just to listen to me? Does he really want to buy something? So like emotions, empathy, and the real signals, AI won't get that. There are AI cold callers, but they still sound like you're talking to a robot.
Have you interacted with like any of these? And we've also seen a couple. I'm curious what your experience has been.
There are like pretty good as well, but still, if you ask them like normal questions, because content is something or context is something that AI does not understand particularly. The human context compared to AI context is way larger.
Yeah.
So there are like 11x is there, 11x do sell these AI SDRs. Like they are pretty good. Like you can talk to them, they have pre-fed emotions. And the best thing is these AI models train over time. They train over your jargons, they train over your objections and everything.
So if you had to design, SDR team today and assuming a lot of their jobs get automated, what would you focus on? What would you almost train an SDR today to get really good at?
The best thing would be their like intellect. Intellect would be the first thing, like an SDR's mentality to go and really look at the lead and like really feel like is he the real persona, is he the real ICP, is it the right time? Timing be the best or the key thing here. The timing should be like be it a outbound email, a outbound cold call, or a outbound LinkedIn message. Everything depends on the timing. If Soumya has posted something about hiring someone at your post, but I do see like you are a bootstrap startup. But AI wouldn't know to pitch like AI ML engineers to you, or just some freelancers or some interns who can get the job done for you. So
Yeah.
those kind of signals should SDR should understand. But AI would never do that. It can't do that.
Were you always interested in the tools and processes part of sales? Is that something you built over time or like from day one because you did a B Tech and I'm guessing you had a tech orientation. That's what attracted you towards the job.
I was one of the early AI adopters. Like I learned these tools, did some Instagram. I used to make filters when filters were not that great in India. Like they were not very famous. Like I guess as of now as well, very few people know like the filters you use can be made. Like you can be the one who can like customize or have your own filter posted on Instagram that people can use.
Right.
So I was always interested there. Being a BTech guy, I was always more in processes instead of like cold calling. So I was more on so how the operation works, how this can be done easily or on a more like efficient manner. Like if 40 50 people like can be done under like with 5 or 10 people with a great tools at place, and these tools would cost like these tools are not that cheap but they are not that expensive as well. If you have a team of 50 SDR, these tools mostly they would cost you around 2 SDR's salary for an entire year,
Hmm.
and that can operate for 10 or 20 SDRs, but they would perform 4 or 5x better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like being from BTech, yeah, I guess the operation side, this AI side, I love this more.
And was it harder for you to, or funner for you to get trained on the more, let's say, human connection part of sales, which is empathy and how you channel yourself in cold calling? Were those things that you enjoyed learning, or did that also come naturally? I don't know if it's a part of BTech syllabus, but I don't.
So I guess BTech does this great thing. Like I also learned a lot of it from my BTech syllabus, though I got an internship with High Radius. I was still in third year of my college. So yeah, this BTech syllabus, these enterprises have also taught me a lot. But particularly the sales empathy and the skills. So like coming from a business family, all I've always seen my father negotiate, sell things. So yeah, that was always there for me.
So, in a nutshell, what you're saying, which can't be replaced by AI, at least right now at scale and predictably so, is the very human traits of, judgment, humor, timing, understanding contextual cues. That's what you think will become more valuable as a lot of the manual processes keep getting automated.
Yes, Soumya. Like even people who are like in their early, like even I'm in at an early age, like early career, like 3 years of full time experience is not that great. But I've learned a lot in this processes, like working at enterprise, then working at a like startup, working in full blown systems, then making a full blown system. But I will always tell people to like, because as of now if I think of it, like the basic SDR jobs when I started in 2020 or 2021, it was going and finding these lead sourcing, then enriching them,
Yeah.
then booking their calendars, then doing the follow-ups manually, uploading that data to sheet, filtering those sheets out, then again uploading it to a CRM, making dashboards there, and then your lead scoring. All of this now can be done by AI or few tools in the place. A single person can operate all of this. So this was around, if it's a full blown enterprise, this was around 20-25 people job. But
Yeah.
those jobs are getting eaten as of now.
Somebody like you who's had the experience of enterprise, mid market, and now starting at zero in a startup and building everything from scratch. And you have this very cool role which is called GTM Engineer. So, where does somebody with a profile like you go to next? What would be your next frontier that you'd like to scale? Next stepping stone? Is it leadership? Is it like product led growth, or what's on your mind with respect to that?
This is a great time we had like to have our like chat or this podcast today. If you follow this AI news space, yesterday OpenAI launched their new enterprise tools, like official tools, and there was this tool where you can integrate your Chat GPT with HubSpot. So all those like RevOps functions, GTM functions are changing like at a speed. Like even I was talking to Karthik, like even I don't know after a week how would the space look like. Now your OpenAI, your Chat GPT, the fastest model, top 100 or 200 coders in the world is OpenAI. It has your GTM knowledge, it has your sales knowledge, it has these functions, it knows the analysis, and now it's integrated to your CRM. So either a GTM guy would should learn and evolve with the space and move to a GTM head role, like selling out to people, making
Hmm.
this sales or marketing functions, or should go out and build a tool. Like building a tool is my approach. So, like I know a
Okay.
lot of these nuances, but either I'll go to a GTM like a superior level where I run all of these functions with where there's DevOps, MarkOps, Sales Ops, and things like that. But what if this RevOps sales can be done by AI, not GPTs interested? So I'll be building a system out of it, maybe. So not sure. The space is evolving at a great space.
I know.
You never know.
Very, very interesting times we live in. Karthik, you wanna take it over the rapid fire?
Yeah, we're going to end with a rapid fire. Again, Kshitij, buckle your seatbelts, like they say. Quick answers. What is your favorite tool under 1,000 rupees a month?
Under 1,000 rupees a month. I'll have that. I have a lot of tools like Phantom Buster. Always go for free trials. Phantom Buster being there, you can always save 1,000 rupees, I guess.
One mistake every founder makes in GT.
I guess does not sell like for me, like working with Rukesh, I like a great guy, a great founder. What I have learned is a founder should always do the sales. The story should always be the founders, all the products, not what a SDR or a GTM and or a marketing guy thinks.
A cold email subject line that got crazy opens.
So I have this trick. I don't know if I should like let it out in the market or on this podcast. So what I on a daily basis, what I do if I'm sending you emails, so I'll make it look like they are internal emails to you. So if I'm sending some email to Soumya, I'll be like Shithij / scooter.ai.
Nice.
So these are the opening.
How do you prep before 250 dials?
Just have one Red Bull, your coffee, your chai person, whatever, like whatever suits you, and just pray to the God that someone picks up. That's it.
Let's say you're a founder and you are looking to hire your first SDR. What's the number one thing as a trait that you should look at?
A number would trade with, I guess, like sounding very like diplomatic, but relentless learning. Like I have been a self learner. Like that is why in 3 years of my journey, I'm like, I was at an enterprise at startups. But the great thing that keep me motivated, came to me from one of my managers. He was like relentless learning and the urge to learn everything, anything new at any given time. So me being in this AI space or this AI journey, that the time we are living in, like Soumya quoted, so the space is evolving at a great space. At like a space like the time we scheduled this call, we didn't know like there's something coming out which will link your HubSpot to a GPT,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
OpenAI themselves would be the one who are doing this. So the space is evolving at a great space. Relentless learning will always take you ahead. If you are like hiring a new SDR, his like skills on like the intent or the market like understanding of the personas ICPs, that would be one thing. And also the tech stack would be like people do ask me. I have one more my manager, like we are from BTech and in sales. But I guess sales would be changing in if more BTech people come in sales.
Nice. Awesome. The last question, and this is different from the previous ones we've asked. What is the kindest thing someone has done for you?
The kindest thing someone has done for me. Being a single child, like all my world revolves around my parents. So apart from them thinking of someone like yeah, someone has done to me, not very sure.
Okay,
I
maybe
don't have
maybe
an answer.
it's something you should think of after we stop recording.
Yes.
Uh, Kshitij, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. There are two parts to sales, right? There is the science of sales and there is the art of sales. And I think where you or someone like a GTM engineer comes in is really doubles down on the science, ensures that as an organization you're reaching out to the right kind of prospects at the right time with the right message at scale, so that what salespeople should do and should be really good at doing and should constantly hope to improve on is this art. When they actually have that conversation with the prospect, they are doing so with empathy, with context, with high signals, and are ensuring that that time is useful both for the prospect and their organization, and both can benefit from that. So I think that this last 40 minutes was a great lesson in how you're empowering Deccan AI to do that. Yeah. 1, 2.